Hi guys and welcome to Carflix. Today we're going to be doing the final things on the BMW to get it ready for its MOT. So without further ado, let's crack on with that video. Right guys, so a bit of an update. The car's now off the jack stands, everything's sorted. I'm now just going to sort this out. I scratched the car bringing it into this garage. I was really annoyed about. So I'm now going to repair that. After I've done that, I'm going to try and make this wing look a bit better using a bit of 3000 grit, get a better shine on it. And then it'll be trying to get this thing out of here without scratching the paint again. Right guys, so I've done all the preparation for this image here and it's all really smooth now and it's all ready for paint. So I'm now going to hit it with paint and see what it comes out like. Right, so I've just hit this with 4 coats of base and that's come out better than expected. So I'm going to let this dry and then finally hit it with the lacquer. Right, so I've just hit it with the last coat of lacquer and that's come out really well. I'll probably give it a polish. The shine is actually really good. So yeah, happy with that. Right guys, you join me on the back quarter again because I still wasn't happy with the finish. So I've completely sanded it down again. I've given it another go. This is the primer on now. Put loads of primer on to get rid of any imperfections. Now I'm going to sand it down and then I'll start spraying it. Right guys, so the lacquer and the base coat is on and look at that. I am super happy I decided to try that again. That has come out super good compared to what it was. I'm now going to take everything off and we'll see what it looks like. And there you have it guys, all done. That rear quarter's come out super good compared to what it was before. So now all that's left to do, I've got a few little things here and there. I'm going to wait for this to dry for a few days and then I'm going to hit it with the polish and the wax on this area. And I'll also do this as well, make this shine up as well. And then it's going to be a re-vacuum of the interior, a clean up, a few little odd jobs, and then I'll book her in for an MOT.
3 days later.
So on the last video, we sprayed this corner here, and we also sprayed this here as well. So what we're going to do, the car's really dusty. I'm going to use a leaf blower. I'm going to get all this dust off. And then what we're going to do, we're going to polish all this quarter with some compound. I'll put some wax protection on it. And then after we've done that, we'll start trying to do the interior as well. I'll give the interior a little dust out as well. And then after that, I'm going to try and get it out of here because it's really difficult to get it in here. So we're going to get it out. Going to take it for a little test drive. Make sure that the engine's okay. Everything else is all right as well. And then, yeah, hopefully she'll be then ready for an MOT.
6.5 hours later.
Right, guys, so let me show you what I've done. I polished everything. I had a bit of a disaster because I burnt the lacquer there. Damn! So I've had to do a quick spray. And then I've repolished it and it came out all right. As again, still not as I'd want it, but it's the best I can do as an amateur. I've now also sprayed this front corner, which came out a lot shinier, which is great. Bit of orange peel there, but as I say, I'm not professional. Put the new stripe on the top here. I'm gonna have to stick these down though, because these edges keep coming up, but that's tidied that up. So now I'm gonna check the coolant. Right guys, so just check the coolant. The coolant's fine. I tried to do the auto bleed, but I'm guessing the voltage isn't that great for it to do it. So I'm now gonna see if she'll start. Foot on the clutch. On the button.
A great success!
Fantastic. So this is the first time I've started her with the ABS and everything done. So I'm hoping that there'll be no lights for the ABS or anything. I'm now going to let her run. I'm going to try and tidy this garage out a bit so it gives me enough room to get the car out. Well guys, she's out and here she is. Right guys, so she's all ready to go for the first test drive. The rear quarter didn't turn out so well. You can see how pretty bad it is, but I give it my best shot. She's a little bit dirty right now because she has been inside. I gave her a quick wipe down, but I'll give her a full valet before I put her up for sale. Corners are a little bit orange peely, but acceptable. And it's looking really good. The inside, the same story. Clean, but could do with a little bit of a spruce up. For sale. Same in the back. Oh, something else I've just noticed. This handle needs a bit of WD-40, but that's fine. Right, let's go take her for a test drive. Right, I'm doing my first test drive. Here we go. What the hell is that? You hear that, Grayson? What the hell is that? It's like a squeaky noise. Oh my god, what the heck is that? You know what that sounds like?
Yeah.
That sounds like central shaft bearing, the prop shaft. And the brakes feel really squishy. Oh, it's so bad. It sounds like that is so bad. Oh no, that is so bad. So I had no choice but to drop the car off with my local garage because I'd already had it booked in for its MOT. So fingers crossed it passed, even with the suspected squeaking central shaft bearing. So all I could do now was wait. And unfortunately, it failed. So let's have a look at what it failed on. So the first thing it failed on was a twisted brake hose. This was me rushing and kind of an easy fix. The other thing that failed on were excessive binding. Now this was because I just didn't have the road time to bed the brakes in. So that's another easy fix. Now I'll be honest with you, the rest of the things on this car are generally just age related stuff and stuff that the MOT guy puts on there so he doesn't necessarily get a visit from the DVLA. But one thing I will get sorted is that nail in the tyre. So let's get cracking and get these MOT failures fixed. Now before I show you this repair, I just wanted to point out to you that only 8% of people that watch this video actually subscribe. So please, if I have saved you some money, hit that subscribe button. It's totally free and it'd really help me out. Okay, so you join me. I've had an MOT failure. So that is this schoolboy error of mine. I managed to twist the brake pipe when I was tightening this up because it was a little bit loose and it caused it to rub on the body, so that's an MOT failure. So I'm going to fix this now just by taking the caliper off, unwinding it, putting it back on, and that should sort that. There you go then guys, all straightened out. I just undid the caliper, spun it around, reinstalled these, and now it's nice and straight. We are going to be fitting a new prop shaft because I was just sick of the old one keep squeaking, and we're just going to put a whole new one on. It was actually cheaper to buy a whole second-hand one than it was to buy the actual central shaft bearing. So let's crack on with it now. So the first thing I'm removing here is the central chassis bar. Move that out of the way, and then I'm going to drop the exhaust down just enough so I can start to remove the heat shields. Now everything's out of the way, I can now start removing the bolts from the differential side of the prop shaft. Now we're onto the front of the vehicle so we can start attacking the bolts at the front end of the prop shaft. Finally, I'm moving to the centre of the vehicle to take the two bolts out holding the central shaft bearing to the chassis. And finally now I'm just jigging out the prop shaft and it's out. Right guys, so I just wanted to show you, obviously the diff's out now. The one on the right is the original one and the one on the left is the new one. And again, this has failed. It's ripped off. Now I don't know why it's ripped off, but it has, and that was a new part. But this one is a genuine BMW part and that is free flowing, so that won't break like that one has. So let's get cracking in fitting this new one. So fitting the prop shaft is completely the reverse, but as we were attempting to do this, something really bad was about to happen.
Fatality.
That's right, poor Eliana got a prop shaft to the nose. Thankfully she was alright and was able to continue helping me. So here I'm fitting the central prop shaft bearing. Something I probably should have done last, because as you can see now, I'm struggling to get it at the diff end. A wobble socket is an absolute must on this job because it's really awkward to get into the differential bolts. You can see me tightening up the central shaft bearing because I had to loosen it off so that I could actually then reattach the prop shaft to the part of the differential. Now back to the front of the BMW where we can start connecting the prop shaft to the transmission. Again, you see me having to unloosen the central shaft bearing so I can get it into the transmission. All I had to do now was fit the new donut and fit the final 8 bolts. Not forgetting to fit the 5000 heat shields along the way. Now moving to the back of the car to finish the heat shields and the exhaust. Finally, we're going to lower the car and get it back on the ground. Then one last drive back to the MOT station to hopefully pass its MOT. And would you believe it, guys, it's passed. I have here the MOT certificate and it passed its MOT. I'm over the moon. It's looking $1 million. It's just awesome. And now I'm about to do a viewing on it. I put it up for sale on Facebook Marketplace and within 2 weeks somebody's coming to have a look at it. So this might be the last time you see this car. And that was the last time we saw the car, because shortly after this video the car went. The guy was really happy with it. He gave me a decent amount of money for it and I made a very small profit on the car. It was never about the profit, it was always about the experience of working on a BMW, something I'd never worked on before to such an extent. And something I did learn is if you got basic tools and you own a BMW, just be prepared to have some very difficult jobs on your hand because they are extremely hard to work on. But anyway, let's get into the costs and let me show you the minute profit that I actually made on this car. So here is the list. So I bought the car for £475. I spent £99.70 on a service kit, £20 on a ignition coil, £9 on an oil filter tool, £16 on an AUC sensor, which is to do with the aircon. Put boots and bonnet struts on for 26 quid. A new diff was 154.96, which came off of a 325i, and I made it fit. The FRM cable was £21 for the unbricking of the FRM module. Discs and pads were 126 quid for front and rear. Centre caps were £10.99. Rear centre console £15. A gear knob was £8.83. A diff bolt that I brought was £8.79. Windscreen removal tool was £18.72. The rear wing repair was £55.50. Obviously that includes all of my spray cans, etc. The engine gasket was £11.35. The tensioner was £30.99. The auxiliary belt was £14.93. The windscreen and sealant was 90 quid. Wheel bearing, which I changed for absolutely no reason, was £40.84. PCV valve was 30 quid. A central shaft bearing was 20 quid. Again, that one failed, but I still included it anyway. The rear wheel sensor was £12.99. Oil was £30. The sump gasket was £20.19. Oil filter was £7.93. The bearings treatment was £18.95. The brake hose was £11.76. The drive shaft bolts were £6.18. A new drive shaft was £26.95. The new ABS sensor and ring ×2 came at £24. The valve cover sealer were £8. 2 hose clamps was £2. Tools that I used that I paid for were double ring spanner was 10 quid, brake cleaner £12, oil filter tool £9, engine support £43.42, toolkit 30 quid, torque gauge 8 quid, door lock, because that had stopped working on the passenger side, so that was £14.95. I did another oil change after the Berrymans, which was 30 quid. Chain kit was only 33 quid. New valve stem seals was 20 quid. The air strap was 15 quid because I found that corroded. Vanos bolts were 15 quid. Vanos seals were £7.20. The MOT cost me £59. Aircon and tracking was £120. And the prop shaft and donut second hand was £65. So if we go to the bottom here, the grand total comes to £1,607.74 that I spent, including the cost of the car. I sold the car for 1,850 quid, which gives me a very small profit of 242 quid. It's a little bit of profit. I spent hours and hours doing the car, but you know, it was a great experience and I learned a hell of a lot. Thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the next one.